Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a whole stack of analysis and expert notes and really boil it all down for you.
And we're kicking off the new year, right?
We are. We've got the first major V85 round, and we are plunging straight into the sources for Jägersro.
Jägersro is a fantastic track to start with, actually, because it immediately sets the whole tactical tone for the day.
Okay.
If you remember us talking about Axvala last year with that, long, grinding uphill finish, Jägersro is the complete strategic opposite.
Oh, so?
It's got a shorter stretch, and this is the crucial part. The horses run toward the stable area.
Right, which psychologically has to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
You're saying the track basically favors the speed horses, the ones that can get out front and hold the lead.
Absolutely. It just historically creates more winners from the front. The analysts call them spexfinar. The track layout just doesn't give the closers enough time to make up ground. Position is everything.
So that's our mission today, sifting through the consensus for V85-1 through V-Tries-8 to find where that tactical advantage is, rock solid and where maybe a fast pace opens things up.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get into it. V85-1, the Sturdivaginen, it's a volt start, middle distance.
And the consensus here is it's pretty much all built on position and consistency. It all centers on number 1, global gaiety.
Untersteiner's horse.
That's the one. In a volt start, that inner track, the sporette, is just a massive advantage, especially for a horse that's quick off the line.
Quick off the line, you mean start sap.
Exactly, a fast beginner. And global gaiety is definitely that. Plus, the horse is just incredibly reliable. I think it's never finished worse than 4th.
Wow.
And the sources flagged a little detail, something that suggests the stable is looking for that extra gear. The potential debut of earplugs, the Richthussar, to be pulled for the first time in the stretch.
That's the kind of insider info that makes a difference. So who's going to challenge for that lead and make her work for it?
Well, there are 2 to watch. Number 6, Noblesse Broda, is noted as a strong opener. She'll challenge from the outside.
Okay.
And then you have number 5, Direction Face. She's 2 for 2 since moving to a new stable, a new Regi, and really seems to love being on the pace.
So if they force a hot pace early, it could open the door for an upset, a screll.
It could. And the standout underdog is number 14, In Manana Minute.
14 is a tough post.
It is, plus the 20-meter handicap. But the sources highlight her insane finishing speed. Last time out, she went, 7.5 over the last 350 meters on a wide track. That is just elite.
Okay, so she's the high-risk, high-reward play. Anyone else?
Yeah, you might want to keep an eye on number 12, Las Vega, a local horse with good speed that the public hasn't really caught on to yet.
Got it. So V85-1 is about the volt start, but now we're moving to V85-2, the Diamond Stoet, 1,640 meters. This is all about raw sprint speed.
It is, and this reinforces that Jägersro lead bias you mentioned, which is why we have a really strong consensus speak here.
A single-ticket lock.
Yeah, pretty much. Number 4, Nova Mahiran. The sources give us a killer statistic to back it up.
Okay, what is it?
9 wins and 15 starts when she takes the lead. She starts Sab, she's fast, and she finished really strong last time out, so the form is there.
But pure talent can sometimes beat position. Who has the engine to challenge her even if they're stuck on the outside?
That would have to be number 7, Asperia Font, from the Gocchiadoro stable. She's tough, she's in great form, and the sources all note she can win from the death position Dotens.
The spot outside the leader with no cover, that takes a special kind of horse.
It really does. And then for the supporting cast, you've got number 5, Glorious Rain, 2 straight wins from the front in Denmark, and Johan Untersteiner is driving.
A good sign.
And number 2, Nikki Lane. She's expected to be a lot sharper with a tighter race schedule and the addition of blinkers. The stable means business.
But that short distance really puts the focus on that lead fight. If Nova Mahiran gets that 9 and 15 scenario going, she's going to be very, very tough to beat.
That's why she's the anchor for so many tickets.
Okay. On to V85-3, Class 2, another sprint. And this race, this looks like our first real puzzle. We've got a favorite, but the analysis is just flashing red warning lights everywhere.
It really is. The favorite is number 1, Steady King, another quality horse from Untersteiner. Superior ability for this class. He's won twice since coming back from a 1.5-year break. But, and this is the big one, multiple sources are calling this a classic trap, a fella.
Why is that?
Because starting from the inner post in a sprint isn't always good. Steady King isn't a rocket at the start, so there's a huge risk he gets completely boxed in behind slower horses.
So the horse with the best engine might get neutralized by traffic.
Yeah.
If he does get stuck, who stands to gain the most?
You have to look at his stablemate, number 6, Nordican. He's seen as essential cover, top form, powerful finisher. And if the pace up front is just suicidal and overpace, then number 10, Louis Vuitton, comes right into it. He's got 2 straight wins and just loves a race that turns into a stamina test at the end.
And who is most likely to cause that traffic jam by just blasting out for the lead?
That's number 2, specification. He's a certified start rocket. Jepsen is driving. He's got the speed to take the lead and try to go all the way, even if he has been known to, get a bit too hyped up and stop late.
Got it. And maybe a long shot to watch.
Number 9, Naira Stenker. Good form, Erberg driving. Often goes under the radar.
All right. V85-4, the Gold Division, and after all that complexity, we seem to have hit the round's strongest consensus pick.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about number 1, Stens Ruben. This horse is the unanimous choice, described everywhere as the best single pick of the day. The phrase used was uplagged for Spets Oxlet.
Which means?
Basically, it's just perfectly set up for him to get the lead and win. And the stat that backs this up is just phenomenal. 4 out of 4 times, starting from post 1 behind the car, he has taken the lead.
100%. But let's dig into this, because this is what the deep dive is for. The sources also say his recent winning impressions have been, and I'm quoting, brutally poor for a favorite like this. How do you square that?
It all comes down to race flow. The analysis suggests there's a real lack of other pace setters in this particular field.
So no one to challenge him early.
Exactly. This means he can likely control the race, go a very slow first lap, and then turn it into a final sprint. That plays right into his hands. It lets him conserve energy and use his speed when it counts, which masks any questions about his current stamina.
So the tactics of the race basically erase the questions about his form. That's a great insight. Just for safety, who's the cover?
Honestly, you probably don't need much. But number 4, Epsom Ez ran okay on the outside last time. And number 2, Nator Beau was trapped with some energy saved. But really, this race is all about the favorite's position.
Okay, let's head to V85-5, the Silver Division. This one looks tricky. High-capacity horses with, let's say, some reliability issues.
That's a good way to put it. The A group starts with number 6, Joe Dalton. Good form, ran right behind Stens Ruben, Jepsen's driving, but historically, he's just described as very uneven, prone to breaking stride.
A risky proposition.
Very. Contrast that with number 9, Fighter Kronos, a horse with huge raw talent. He was a Derby participant, and he's tough enough to go wide and still be a factor.
Who's going to challenge for the lead here?
That has to be number 4, Eddie the Eagle. He starts Sab, shared a win last time after a tough run, and he's the most likely one to really push for the front.
And if he pushes the pace, that could set it up for a long shot.
For sure. And the one that really stood out in the sources is number 12, Amazing Hazel. The notes said she looked underbar wonderful last time out. Won with the Norwegian headgear untouched, which means she had plenty left in the tank.
Post 12 is brutal, though.
It's very tough, but the form is undeniable. And don't forget, number 1, Yuvaraj, perfect rail position. He's likely to get a great pocket trip right behind the leaders.
Right, V85-6, Class 3. And this gives us a great storyline, a duel between 2 really promising 4-year-olds.
Yeah, this is a classic capacity versus reliability matchup.
Okay, break it down for us.
You've got number 3, Madi Urizma, the consistent type from Untersteiner. He's won 3 of 4 starts, and he's undefeated when he stays on his feet.
And on the other side?
Number 2, Godot from the Colgjini stable. He's described as having superior raw talent. One source literally said he's only competing against himself in this class, but...
There's always a but.
He comes with a much higher chance of making a mistake, a gallop, a clear temperament risk.
So it's the reliable performer versus the volatile superstar.
Precisely. And the key question is, who wins the start? If number 2, Godot, behaves himself and gets the lead, his talent advantage is huge.
But if they battle hard up front?
Then the closers come into play. Number 10, Express Silvio, is a strong finisher who needs that fast pace. And number 9, Martin Palema ran the best race of his career last time and is perfectly positioned to benefit from a speed duel.
Let's keep it moving. V85-7, Class 1. And we're seeing that same pattern again. A fast but maybe unreliable favorite against some tough closers.
The Spets favorite, the lead favorite, is number 2. Beckir HTV Magnus Ajus is driving, and he's incredibly tough to pass when he's on the front end.
But the key caveat from the sources.
His history, he's just not completely reliable. He has a tendency to just fall out of a race sometimes.
So if he falters, who's best positioned to take advantage?
I'd look at number 3, Iamthison. Very capable horse, strong finishing kick. And the sources expect a much more aggressive drive this time after a passive run last out.
Okay.
And even from the terrible post-12, you have to respect number 12, Speed Change. He's in top form for the Berg stable and has the class to make an early move. Also, number 9, Conrad's Leonard for Erberg. He needs cover and pace, but he's in the mix.
Anyone else showing peak form that might be overlooked?
Definitely. Number 6, Bolero of Caramé. One source described his last win with extremely sweaty strength.
Sweaty strength.
Meaning he was just tough as nails, all heart. He's in peak form. And number 1, Simruni was rigorously good last time. He just needs a clear path from the rail.
Okay, the final race. V85-8, the bronze division in, the final test. Lead advantage versus top closers.
And the consensus is strong again. Number 1, Eminent Chronos. Extremely quick from the start, expected to take the lead and just dictate the entire tempo. A huge chance for the Intersteiner stable.
Any concerns at all?
There were some small notes that he's struggled a bit on a loose Jägersro track in the past, but the January conditions should make the track tighter, so that risk is probably low.
So if he controls the race from the front, who is the most dangerous challenger if he shows any weakness late in the stretch?
It has to be number 9, Leiden. This was Jepsen's choice of horse in this race, and that's always a big signal.
Why is that?
It just shows confidence. The horse is in top form, can handle any kind of trip, and is a strong closer. He's the key horse if you're trying to build a ticket that pays a bit more.
And what about the others?
Don't underestimate number 2, Nasdaq Newport. He's going for 4 straight wins, tough and solid. And for a real long shot, maybe number 8, Edelweiss L. Tough horse, high peak level, but post-8 is a killer.
So to summarize this whole deep dive then, the tactical layout of Jägersro is really the star of the show.
It absolutely is. That short stretch running toward the stable, it just means speed and position are king. It really validates the big favorites who are quick to the lead, especially Stenz Rubin in V85-4 and Nova Mahiran in V85-2.
But the flip side of relying on the lead is that if a horse like Steady King in V85's-3 gets trapped, or if a temperamental but talented horse like Godot in V85-6 misfires, then the whole race just swings wide open.
The whole day hinges on that. Can the speed horses execute and get to the front cleanly?
And, you know, if we connect that theme of capacity versus reliability to some of the broader insights from our material, it brings up a really fascinating question about preparation.
It does. We saw mentions of these radically different warm-up philosophies. You have the classic Swedish method. Long, intensive warm-ups to get the muscle temperature up. Very scientific.
Right. And then you have a top trainer like Bazir in France who, famously barely warms his horses up at all.
It's kind of amazing you have elite success being achieved through completely opposite methods. One is exhaustive, science-based prep, and the other is almost minimalist, maybe focused more on keeping the horse calm.
So if there's no single perfect way to prepare, if you can win at both extremes, what does that tell us about where the sport is going?
That's the question. It makes you wonder if the next big breakthrough isn't a new training gizmo, but a better understanding of each horse's individual psychology, not just their physiology.
Something for you to think about as you put your tickets together.
Indeed.
That wraps up our deep dive into the Jägersro sources. Best of luck, and we will talk to you next time.